The New York State Athletic Commission has officially overturned the result of the Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, sending shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans who had been calling it a robbery finally got the outcome they were demanding. The CompuBox stats told the story. Roach landed more total punches and jabs, making it clear that the original decision heavily favored Tank.
Really in there, man. I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the...
WBA President Gilberto Mendoza had already confirmed that a rematch was in the works, but with the commission's decision, Tank is no longer the winner. His undefeated record, something he had protected for years, is officially gone. The backlash has been intense, with fans and analysts reacting to the shocking turn of events.
The New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the results of the fight, and it's based on that knockdown, which is extremely important, because if that is...
Davis, who had been hinting at a rematch in May, is now being forced into one under completely different circumstances. What was supposed to be a routine title defense has turned into full-blown damage control. His fans, who proudly called him the face of boxing, are now scrambling for answers. But Davis didn't wait for them to defend him. He threw out his own excuse, blaming his hairstylist for his struggles in the ring. "She put grease in my hair, so when I started sweating, it dripped into my eyes and burned," he told the crowd at the Barclays Center. Instead of sympathy, the arena erupted in boos. Davis doubled down, pointing to his hair and saying, "This is real. Look at my hair, I just got it done. But it's all good, man. They love you, then they hate you, then they love you again." Tank's excuse didn't sit well with the boxing world. Fans immediately took to social media, roasting him for blaming hair grease instead of admitting that Roach had simply outboxed him. Memes flooded the internet, with people posting pictures of hair products, tagging Tank, and joking that Roach's real game plan was a bottle of hair oil. But it wasn't just fans calling him out. His own hairstylist, known as @Leave the Brand on Instagram, fired back. "I did his hair on Wednesday. It's Saturday, he's done press, gym, and weigh-ins," they wrote, shutting down Tank's excuse. "How much grease did I even use?" To prove their point, they even posted a photo from their salon, showing there was no excess product. Fans quickly sided with the stylist, arguing that if Tank was blaming something as small as hair grease, he had bigger problems. Some even compared it to past boxing excuses, like fighters blaming their ring walk outfits for slowing them down. But this wasn't just about an excuse. It was about a supposed dominant fighter getting exposed in a way no one expected. The overturned result has completely changed how people see Tank. Before this, he was the guy who always got the benefit of the doubt, the knockout artist who seemed untouchable because boxing politics wouldn't let him lose. Now, that illusion is gone. The commission's decision was a rare move. It takes a major controversy for them to step in and erase a fighter's win. But in this case, the issue was clear. The New York State Athletic Commission admitted that a technical error prevented them from reviewing the replay when they should have, ultimately leading to the wrong decision in the first place.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there.
During the round in question, the commission had requested a replay review, but a technical issue prevented them from receiving the footage in time. As a result, the referee's original decision stood, and the fight continued as if nothing was wrong. The commission is dedicated to preserving the integrity of combat sports and is committed to working with all promotions and production teams to ensure that technical issues do not prevent the delivery of ringside instant replay feeds in the future, the statement read. This wasn't just an explanation, it was an admission of fault. The commission acknowledged that their failure to access the replay had directly impacted the fight's outcome. But they also made it clear, they won't let this kind of mistake happen again.
I mean, definitely an off night for Tank, but Lamont Roach is the guy, man. He showed up, and Tank gave him a tremendous amount of respect in the fight, and we saw why. I mean, he's a great counterpuncher. He's very high boxing IQ. He always says, I hit harder than people think. I hit harder than my record says. He stunned Tank several times. Tank looked like the guy.
And to many, it felt like Tank had finally been caught. The system that had protected him for so long had failed him this time, and his biggest critics wasted no time celebrating. Then came Terrence Crawford. Crawford has never been a fan of Tank's flashy lifestyle, often calling him out for caring more about social media clout than building a real boxing legacy. For years, he claimed Tank was being protected, avoiding the toughest competition while still being marketed as a superstar. So when the fight result was officially overturned, Crawford didn't hold back. "This dude has been talking like he runs the sport," he tweeted. Well, the sport just told him otherwise. But he wasn't done. He took direct aim at Tank's fanbase, the same people who had spent years calling Davis the face of boxing. All y'all talking about Tank the face of boxing. Well, the face just took an L. And he wasn't wrong. Tank's once untouchable record now had a stain on it that couldn't be erased. To Crawford, this was karma. He had called out Tank before for dodging fights with Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, and now he was watching him take a loss to Lamont Roach, a fighter who was never supposed to be a threat. Crawford had always believed Tank was given an easy road. Now, it looked like that road had finally run out.
Maybe the opponent, Lamont Roach, actually got stronger moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble. That, I think, was unusual and disconcerting.
Tank had always been the fighter who avoided real risks, carefully choosing opponents while still being treated like a superstar. But now, with the fight officially overturned, that entire image was falling apart. Crawford didn't hold back, saying, "How do you dodge guys like Shakur, only to take a loss against Roach?" Ryan Garcia didn't waste any time either. The moment the New York State Athletic Commission overturned Tank's draw, Ryan was all over social media. "Told y'all he lost that fight," he posted. "The commission did the right thing. Tank got exposed. Let me know if you need any more adjustments." Tweet: Ryan and Tank have been at odds for years, whether out of genuine hatred or just to keep their names relevant. Ever since their fight, where Tank knocked him out, Ryan has been on a mission to prove that Davis isn't as good as people think. Every time Tank won, Ryan had something to say, calling him protected and overrated. But now, with the commission overturning the result, Ryan had all the ammo he needed. And he wasn't done yet.
It's a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it.
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much. But
Tank fans have been lying to themselves for years, Ryan continued. Dude ain't that good. He just got saved every time he fought. Now, even the commission couldn't protect him anymore. Look at my fight. There had to be something off in his favor, just like with Lamont Roach. Then came the knockout blow. Ryan posted a video of Tank taking a knee against Roach, the exact moment that sparked all the controversy. But it wasn't just the clip that caught everyone's attention. It was Ryan's caption, "No heart. Quitter energy." Tank's biggest weapon had always been his image. He was the bully, the street fighter, the guy who knocked people out. But now, he was the guy who took a knee. And Ryan was making sure the whole world saw it.
Money Mayweather, one of the greats, one of the legends, one of the GOATs, said to himself, "Sugar Tank Davis." So we know that Tank Davis loves to be painting his nails, wearing stilettos, wearing them purses. How many pay-per-view buys does this Roach Jr. coming up for 130? How many buys do you think this does, my brother?
350.
Shakur Stevenson had been watching everything unfold quietly. But once the ruling became official, he decided to speak up. He and Tank had been going back and forth for months, trading shots on social media and teasing a fight that never seemed to happen. Tank called Shakur boring, while Shakur dismissed Tank as all hype. But now, with Tank officially taking a loss, Shakur didn't need to say much. He simply posted, "I knew what it was. Now let's see if he still wants to talk crazy."
But look, I want some money tonight. That's all I'm happy for. I want money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what did you think about the decision?
I ain't gonna shit on him.
Okay.
We still gotta see each other. He say he wanna fight me, so we gonna fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I thought Lamont won.
You thought Lamont won. Got you. I'll talk to you later.
Then, Shakur went live on Instagram, shaking his head like he had seen it coming all along. "You see how the boxing gods work," he said. "That man was out here acting like he was the boogeyman, calling me boring. But now look. He got hooped, he got dropped, and he got his W taken away." Then came the challenge, the one he had been waiting to make for months. Or maybe now, he can just fight me and stop running. That was the real conversation now. With Tank's undefeated record gone and his aura of invincibility shattered, what came next? Because he no longer had the same leverage. He couldn't just act untouchable anymore. If he wanted to prove himself, he had to actually step up.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
The plan is simple. Stay calm, stay focused, and prove to Davis that he's not intimidated. If Roach can pull that off, he has a real chance of breaking through the mental barriers GervontaDavis usually sets up for his opponents. Lately, GervontaDavis has been keeping everyone on edge with his unpredictable behavior. For months, the Baltimore native has been making puzzling statements about his career, leaving fans confused and uncertain. But the real shock came on Christmas Eve. Out of nowhere, Davis dropped a bombshell, announcing that his highly anticipated showdown with Roach was canceled. No explanation, no follow-up, just a cryptic social media post that left the boxing world in disbelief.
Talk to me about the mental preparation going to this fight with Lamont. Fans, they kind of sleeping on Lamont, but you know Lamont's fighting style. Y'all fought in the past.
People don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. Like he ain't no slouch. Like I fought him in the amateurs.
Naturally, fans started speculating, wondering if this was another one of Tank's infamous meltdowns. Davis has always been unpredictable, but this time felt different. The timing was unusual, and with no confirmation from his team, it seemed like he was once again disrupting his own plans. Just when it looked like the fight might be in jeopardy, Lamont Roach and his father, Lamont Sr., stepped in to set the record straight. They assured fans that the fight was still on as scheduled. The situation could have turned chaotic, but both fighters stayed focused. Despite the brief confusion, the momentum never faded, and now, Roach and Davis are fully prepared for their March 1st, 2025 showdown at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Match close, people, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140 and fight Raya.
Roach, like everyone else, was caught off guard when the cancellation rumors started spreading. While fans on social media were in a frenzy, he refused to get caught up in the drama. During a recent Q&A session on his YouTube channel, Roach addressed the situation with his usual calm demeanor. A fan asked him directly, "Why are people saying the fight was canceled? Did you pull out?" Roach simply smiled and explained his side of the story. "GervontaDavis is like a wild card," Roach said. "You never know what he's going to do next." The 29-year-old Washington native admitted that Davis's unpredictability is something he has learned to navigate over the years. Instead of getting rattled by the rumors and confusion, Roach stayed focused on what he could control.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's Hawaii, and say, "Who do you want next?" And Tank's going to say, "I want all those guys." And they're going to go to the press conference.
Roach has been through it all in his own journey, and he's not about to let any of Davis's antics throw him off track. By now, he understands that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is unpredictable. His decisions don't always make sense from the outside. Whether it's an emotional tweet or a cryptic post, Davis has a habit of keeping people guessing. But Roach isn't concerned with the mental games Tank plays with the boxing world. For him, it's business as usual. He has a fight to prepare for, and nothing is going to distract him from that goal. In boxing, the mental game is just as crucial as the physical one, and Roach is staying sharp for the biggest challenge of his career. "I don't let that stuff affect me," Roach said. It's clear he's not getting caught up in the drama or the rumors. Instead, he's channeling all his energy into preparing for what could be the fight of his life. A victory over Davis would change everything: his career, his life, and his legacy. But for now, his focus is locked in, letting all the outside noise fade into the background.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're going to execute it, and we're going to get the results.
Move that head, bob and weave.
As the countdown to their Brooklyn showdown continues, Roach remains as focused as ever. His training camp is in full swing, and he's preparing for GervontaDavis with complete professionalism. Meanwhile, Davis looks sharp and ready, with his weight already close to fighting form. Unlike other fighters, such as Keyshawn Davis, who tend to carry extra weight during training camp, Tank stays lean and prepared. Keyshawn often looks more like a welterweight before cutting down to 135 pounds, but Tank doesn't rely on drastic weight cuts to gain an advantage. He's a natural lightweight, not someone manipulating the scales at the last minute.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know, son. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? It gotta be. Gonna say it's cap.
Interestingly, Tank's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, has been noticeably absent lately, sparking speculation that the two may have parted ways. Ford has been a key figure in Davis's career for years, so his absence hasn't gone unnoticed by fans and insiders. Leonard Ellerbe, who knows Davis well, recently addressed the situation during a conversation on the laboratory with Plas. He also reflected on Tank's recent statement about retiring after 3 more fights, saying he understood the reasoning behind it. I can understand where he's coming from. Things are different when you have kids. It changes your life. It completely changes your life, Ellerbe said.
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them.
Don't bring
them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me.
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know, son. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
pops.
On my kids.
Ellerbe also pointed out that Tank's perspective has changed significantly over the past 6 or 7 years. If Tank has said he's retiring after 3 more fights, then that's what he believes, and they've all heard it. No, not at all. It's never good enough what you do, and sometimes that can be frustrating, Ellerbe added. He explained that the pressure from fans and the constant demand for more fights can be overwhelming. There's more to life than just what you do for a living. You have to respect the fans who pay their money to see you fight, but you also have a life outside of boxing. They want you to keep doing it, and they don't really care about your health, he continued.
What? Who said that? You said what? You said what? Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want it back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want back? Just call it out. Huh? 100?
The future may look bright for Tank, but it's also filled with hungry competitors like Andy Cruz, Edwin De Los Santos, and Keyshawn Davis, all chasing after him. Tank is aware of the pressure. These are not easy fights, and he knows it. While he's confident he can beat them, he also understands that these battles will be grueling. At this point in his career, Tank may not be eager to put in the extreme effort required for such high-stakes matchups. Ellerbe also shared his thoughts on the brutal nature of boxing and how it impacts a fighter's long-term health. The demands of the sport take their toll, and the constant grind can weigh heavily on someone's body and mind over time.
People who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'm gonna beat his ass.
He can't do shit with.
For real. So y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was quiet.
Ski mask and all that.
He got the whole hood over there.
Like twisted up. I don't give a fuck.
Boxing is a brutal sport, Ellerbe said, reflecting on the harsh realities fighters face. You see a lot of fighters from before who were taken advantage of in many ways. They went through a lot of health issues, a lot of permanent stuff. He acknowledged the common philosophy in boxing: come in, make your mark, and leave. Everybody's opinion is different, and everybody has different goals in life, he added. With Davis's retirement announcement looming, the big question remains: will it actually be permanent? Ellerbe hinted that Tank may not be done for good. It's hard to ignore Davis's popularity and the kind of money he can draw. If the right offer comes along in the next 6 to 12 months, it wouldn't be surprising to see him return. A massive payday, especially against a high-profile opponent, could easily lure him back into the ring.
A draw? Okay, then we got a draw. It was a draw. A draw? Y'all still trying to say I can't do this? I can't? Okay.
Roach, the current 130 pounds champion, is stepping up in weight to take on Davis. Despite being seen as the underdog, Roach possesses the skills and confidence to make this fight interesting. Davis, who hasn't fought since his 8th-round knockout of Frank Martin in June 2024, knows he can't afford to be complacent. He's promised to be in peak condition for every fight leading up to his retirement. "I'm making sure that I do what I'm supposed to, so I can be the best that I can," Davis vowed. Whether he's facing Roach, Stevenson, Haney, or anyone else, Davis seems determined to go out on top. Fans will be watching closely to see if he can cement his legacy with a few more unforgettable performances before hanging up his gloves for good. How do you think it plays out with Lamont Roach? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates.